Hello, my name is Kristen Kelly, and this is my fifth and final Intro to Psych video journal. I'm going to be discussing something that I found really interesting in the 13th chapter. It's on psychological disorders, and so they have kind of the section where they talk about labeling and how these are all labels for people, these are all classifications, but the fact of labeling people can often change our perceptions of people, and so they're kind of warning us against that. And so they use this example of kind of a person who, say, sees or hears of someone that they hear that someone's mean, and then because of that label, they're more likely to treat them suspiciously in their interactions, which therefore can actually make that person be a little bit more hostile or mean towards that person because they're suspicious. And so it can be self-fulfilling, our own labels of people. And so another example that they used was how they gave people a video to watch. They had some people that were told that this was a job application interview, and then some people that were told that this was a psychotic patient that they were watching being talked to. And this label drastically affected the way they perceived the situation and perceived the person, because when they were asked after watching this interview, the people who were told it was a job applicant perceived them as much more normal, whereas the other group of people who thought that they were psychiatric patients actually perceived them as more abnormal and different than most people. And it was the same interview that they watched. And so it just shows the importance of understanding our labels and how we're characterizing different people. And so this actually came up when I was talking to my sister. We were going on a jog, and I had been telling her I've not been working out at all, so I'm probably going to be way less fit, because she's a dancer, and so she does a lot of workouts, lots of ab training. She's like very fit. So I was, I kind of like put the label on myself, like, I'm not going to be as good because I obviously haven't been working out. And she kind of brought up the fact she had read something online about how people, it was an example of a coach who had two students, and one player reminded him of a famous football coach, or a famous football player, and then the other student reminded him of a student he had that was very lazy and didn't do any work. And because of the way that he had initially perceived them, it subtly made him treat them differently, and ended up having them become more of the person that he perceived them as. And so she related that to our own situation, how I had kind of labeled myself in a certain way, and I had labeled her in a certain way, and it could, in small ways, affect the way that I perceived my own tiredness, and I was perceiving myself in relation to her, and how she perceived herself. And so I thought that was really interesting, because she was saying that, she hasn't really been working out very, very much either, because she kind of hasn't been doing dance for a little bit, because she's kind of in between some different programs that she's doing. So I thought it was really cool how it related to my life, and I also think that knowing these labels is really important as Christians, because really we all fall under the label, or I don't know if that's the right word, but we all fall under the label of children of God. That's who we are, that's our identity, and we want to be treating each other as children of God, because that is who we're called to be, that is who we are. And it it will affect the way that we treat people and the way that we're perceiving people, depending on how we see them and our labels of them. So it's important that as we're going around and talking to people and interacting, that we're seeing them the way that God sees them, and not having all of these labels on people that is going to change our perception of who they really are called to be and who they really are. So yeah, thank you for watching.